There are fresh developments this morning in the murder investigation gripping the world. Police are a step closer in their search for Gabby Petito's missing fiancé, Brian Laundrie. Let's go live now to US correspondent David Woywood. David, Laundrie's dad is now part of this huge search party.
Hello, I'm Paul Barry. Welcome to Media Watch and to the American manhunt that's become a media obsession here in Australia. The tragic case of 22-year-old Gabby Petito and the search for the man suspected of murdering her. And on 7 last week, viewers were getting the coverage wall to wall.
The parents of murdered American blogger Gabby Petito have opened up.
The parents of murdered American blogger Gabby Petito have opened up.
And who did the parents open up to? Well, Seven's US correspondent was flat out on high rotation to reveal all.
They have spoken to Dr. Phil yesterday. Petito's parents and step-parents say they've reached out to Brian's family a number of times, texts and phone calls, but they have received no reply.
Breaking news from Dr. Phil. And a few days before that...
There's a new twist tonight in a murder case that has gripped the world. Police have released body camera video of an interview with Gabby Petito.
Yes, that was the twist. A distressing police video of the deceased.
Where did he hit you? Don't worry, just be honest.
He like grabbed my face. It's like.
Did he slap your face or what?
Well, like he like grabbed me like with his nail, and I guess that's why it looks. I definitely have a cut right here, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
But Seven is not alone in its fascination with a murder on the other side of the world. Nine's 60 Minutes is also on board.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
Young love.
They just look like the most beautiful young couple.
Wild adventure.
I love the band.
And murder.
Media obsession with true crime is nothing new. But what makes this case different is the scale of coverage in both mainstream and social media, as 60 Minutes explained.
You have the entire country and really the entire world searching through Instagram videos, searching through YouTube.
So I'd already reported to the FBI what I had seen.
Searching through even Spotify, trying to see if there are clues based on the music that Gabby and Brian were listening to.
And the numbers are mind-boggling, with Petito's name bringing up 25 million hits on Google, while videos with her hashtag on TikTok have been viewed 1.4 billion times. And given that reservoir of knowledge, why not interview some social media detectives, as New South Wales Hit FM did last week with the woman behind websleuth.com.
What details can you tell us that you might know?
Somebody on TikTok reported to the police, I picked up Brian Laundrie and I gave him a ride. That was on TikTok. Who would have thought true crime on TikTok? But it's beautiful.
Meanwhile, news.com.au was pumping up a story about other social media sleuths sharing their thoughts on, quote, cryptic messages on Pinterest left by the boyfriend. While over in the UK, News Corp's top-selling tabloid The Sun felt the need to tell readers about the potential significance of some 18-month-old photos on Instagram.
Guessing for Gabby. Gabby Petito followers trawl pic of bizarre angel wings and guess T-shirt for clues.
But best of all is probably Dog the Bounty Hunter, the reality TV star working the case.
Somebody knows something. Somebody else knows where he's at, where they dropped him off at, or did they drop him off? That person is going to call us.
So far, Dog hasn't had much luck, but his YouTube clip has clocked up nearly 5 million views. And that is exactly the problem, according to forensic criminologist Xanthi Mallet.
This is not a TV show or a movie. This was a young woman's life and death, which has now become media fodder with her final days being treated as entertainment. These women and their lives are not ours to co-opt, to voyeuristically dissect. They are not a form of entertainment.
Try telling that to the media when viewers and readers can't get enough of it. And journalists and programme makers are only too ready to satisfy the lust for murder porn. But now to the private lives of our politicians. More rumours on social media and a government vowing to crack down.
Social media has become a coward's palace where people can just go on there, not say who they are, destroy people's lives and say the most foul and offensive things to people and do so with impunity. Now, that's not a free country where that happens.
The Prime Minister was fuming on Thursday about anonymous defamatory smears and the platforms that publish them. And it was the right week to speak up, with US Congress probing Facebook and a whistleblower revealing the tech giant's alleged indifference to causing social harm. But it was the trolls at home that sparked Morrison's outburst, and in particular his deputy's very personal confession to Radio National.
Your family's been subject to vicious online rumours in recent days. Is your government going to push tech companies harder to crack down on misinformation?
I think it's absolutely essential that we do.
Barnaby Joyce was ready for the next question and poised to hit back. So what were these vicious online rumours?
My daughter is a strong person and she had a completely malicious rumour. Basically, people saying that she had been in a relationship with John Barilaro and that's why he'd left, which is just total and utter rubbish.
John Barilaro, of course, suddenly announced his departure as New South Wales Nationals leader last Monday in the wake of Gladys Berejiklian standing down as Premier. And with speculation rife as to why he'd quit, Joyce wanted to kill the rumours about his daughter, who was one of Barilaro's advisors.
When you have local media outlets actually approaching you, asking you for comment on this, and you say, what is your source? And their source is Facebook or their source is Twitter. And you say, well, it's no good that these platforms just say, oh, well, sorry, it's too hard to control.
Joyce's intervention, of course, sparked headlines of its own and put his daughter and Barilaro right in the spotlight, with Seven, news.com.au and the Daily Mail all quick to jump on the scandal.
Barnaby Joyce hits out an outrageous allegation his daughter, 25, had an affair with John Barilaro while working for him, causing the Nationals leader to resign.
It's certainly true that social media was awash with scuttlebutt, which surfaced last Monday, minutes after Barilaro announced he was stepping down. Tim Graham from the QUT's Digital Media Research Centre has mapped around 4,500 tweets mentioning Barilaro and staffer, or Barilaro and affair, or Barilaro and Barnaby Joyce, and highlighted half a dozen prominent accounts and a fringe news site spreading the rumours. But real journalists have been asking questions too, as the Financial Review's rogue columnist Joe Aston pointed out shortly after Barnaby put his colleague into play.
The new fire in Barilaro's belly was terminated rather suddenly. Could that be related in any way to the live inquiries of multiple senior political journalists in Sydney and Canberra into Barilaro's conduct and issues relating to his ministerial office?
There were also scandal hunters at Barilaro's farewell press conference, where questions and answers seemed to be dancing around something.
Can you give people who might be suspicious about the timing of, a resignation assurances that there's nothing, else going on, no other scandals about to break?
Well, again, if that was the case, I wouldn't be allowed to comment anyway. So, as I said, I just don't make any comments around the ICAC. The weeks, the months ahead. Let's see what occurs.
Bring ICAC aside, is there anything looming for you?
No, nothing's looming for me.
So far, there are only unsubstantiated rumours from anonymous sources. But the government's concerned about the damage even they can do. And last week, the PM made clear he wants to punish the trolls and their platforms.
We have been a world leader on this, and we intend to set the pace because we value our free society. And in a free society, you can't be a coward and attack people and expect not to be held accountable for it.
But what can the government really do to shut them up, if anything? There is a new Online Safety Act giving more power to the E-Safety Commissioner to remove online content, which comes into force in January. But that is targeted at cyberbullying and child exploitation, not political gossip. And the only other weapon in the government's locker is a vague proposal to make Facebook liable for defamatory posts on its platforms. But that surely has Buckley's chance of ever happening. And if politicians have to go after individual trolls, there are thousands to deal with, many have next to no money, and some will never pipe down.
G'day, Shane Dowling here. Now, I just want to do a quick video on the real reasons New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro has resigned.
Shane Dowling's been sued for defamation several times, jailed twice for criminal contempt, and now faces a third stint in the clanger after setting up anonymous websites to publish defamatory material on Kerry Stokes and his business interests. And even though much of what he puts on his site is defamatory nonsense, he keeps on publishing it. So, don't believe politicians who tell you trolls can be stopped. Sadly, smear and rumour is more and more a fact of political life, even if ultimately some of it turns out to be true. But now, let's go to lockdowns and this dramatic arrest in Melbourne, streamed live on social media.
At the moment, you're under arrest for incitement.
Have you guys been following me? Please share this video as much as possible. Monica Smith has just been arrested for incitement.
That is Monica Smith, founder of Reignite Democracy Australia, which claims the COVID vaccine is not safe, the tests are bogus and masks are a danger to users. Smith's now out on bail after 22 days in prison and faces charges of inciting Melbourne's anti-lockdown protests. But 3 weeks earlier, her Reignite Democracy was making waves in Cairns by spamming shop owners with anti-lockdown leaflets.
It's your choice.
And ABC Far North Queensland opted to give Smith a platform to spread the message.
Why? Why are you against these public health measures? Why are you trying to inform people that they don't have to follow the mask mandates or the QR code check-ins if they don't want to?
Well, because it's the truth. You don't have to. So with the QR codes, you can ask to manually sign in or you can shop somewhere else.
During the 5-minute interview, Smith was also given plenty of time to rail against masks.
When it comes to the mask mandates, you know, there's so much science out there to say that it's actually really dangerous to wear it for a long period of time. There's a lot of science to say that it causes cognitive issues with teenage children as well, and they're wearing them 8 hours a day.
That is just not true. So, did the ABC's Adam Stephen challenge her claims? Well, kind of.
Is there a lot of science to say this, Monica? You've got the CDC in the US now telling people they should be wearing masks. We've got every state in the country, actually, the health officers and the powers that be and the health authorities saying that masks actually protect and prevent spread of COVID-19. Where are you drawing your information from?
But as the interview wore on, it was Smith who won out as she bombarded Stephen and his listeners with a blizzard of false claims about masks, lockdowns and the government.
It's proven around the world that lockdowns don't work. The government's not giving people all the information. If you know the law and you know your rights, then actually that fine is null and void and it's actually, it won't mean anything.
It was an interview full of inaccuracies, misinformation, conspiracy theories and blatant lies. And it was used by Reignite Democracy to further promote its cause.
ABC Far North Queensland gave us a chance to explain why we're so passionate about giving people the message of choice. We're so proud of the Cairns Active Group. You're smashing it.
But soon, Adam Stephen was getting smashed on the text line and had to read out angry messages from furious listeners.
Adam, why are you giving oxygen to these people who are keen to put the population at risk? Adam, you are only fueling the fire with the aim of boosting your ratings. Monica is factually inaccurate about masks and the efficiency of lockdowns. If you give her a platform for misinformation, you must follow up with correct information so that you are not helping to spread false information that can actually put lives and livelihoods at risk.
Bang on. And what was Stephen's response? He doubled down on the interview and hit back at those who disagreed, telling them,
we wanted to get the motivations of that group so that you could understand for yourself why they would even be saying that.
But we don't feel the need to do that for flat earthers, and we shouldn't feel the need to do it for vaccine sceptics and anti-maskers either. This month, the ABC ruled that the interview breached editorial policy, noting that it had failed to explain that Smith had no medical or pandemic expertise and that it had failed to tell listeners that Reignite Democracy encourages illegal lockdown protests, adding in an email to Media Watch,
a correction has been published and the issue has been taken up with the program team responsible.
And its message to the team should be, the ABC has no duty to give airtime to false claims. And now to some good news for open justice and freedom of the press.
Court of Appeal rules in favour of Witness K lawyer Bernard Collaery's bid for open trial.
Bernard Collaery is a former ACT Attorney General facing charges of revealing information to ABC journalists about a secret Australian operation to bug East Timor's government in 2004. And following Christian Porter's decision as Attorney General to charge him in 2018, the government has relentlessly pursued Collaery and insisted on a secret trial, which is why last week's ruling was an important victory.
In an unanimous judgment, the ACT Court of Appeal found the secrecy order risked badly damaging public confidence in the administration of justice.
To its credit, the court also declared that open hearings are important to deter political prosecutions and to allow the public to scrutinise the actions of prosecutors. Outside court, Collaery put it this way.
National security is always a balance. If you knew my background, you'd understand how much I support the concepts of national security. But it has to be true national security, not issues of embarrassment or publicity. That's the real issue.
So, game, set and match to open justice? Not quite. Having lost the argument in the appeal court, the government revealed it wants to present other judge-only evidence which Collaery and his lawyers have not been allowed to see. Cheeky? You bet. Likely to provoke another legal challenge? Without doubt. So, more months of legal argument to come. It really does beggar belief. And finally, I'll leave you with these extraordinary front pages from today's News Corp tabloids, heralding its new climate action campaign.
Climate of change.
How we can go green and save jobs in a net zero world.
Green and gold.
How Australia could be #1 in the new global economy.
It is a breathtaking change of course, and you can only ask, where would Australian policy be now if News Corp had done this right from the start? That's all from us tonight. You can read a full statement from the ABC on our website. And don't forget Media Bites every Thursday. But for now, until next week, goodbye.